Deep in the cold void of space, a fleet of alien ships moved silently. Their metal hulls glinted under the distant light of a dying star. The aliens were confident. They had explored thousands of star systems. Nothing in the galaxy had surprised them for centuries. Until now, a strange object appeared on their scanners. It was small, but it radiated an energy signature unlike anything they had seen before. The alien captain, a tall creature with green scales and sharp eyes, leaned closer to the console. "Bring it closer," the captain hissed. His voice echoed through the bridge. "It looks fragile. It must be a primitive vessel. Prepare the probes." The aliens were certain they would study it, analyze it, and move on. After all, humans were known only through intercepted transmissions. The data suggested primitive weapons and weak defenses. The aliens were sure this ship would be easy to control. A probe detached from the mothership and floated silently toward the unknown vessel. Its sensors activated, scanning every inch. Alien scientists watched eagerly on their screens, but the human warship did not respond the way they expected. The lights on its hull blinked, not as warning signals, but as a pattern, strange and precise. The probe paused, sending streams of data back to the alien fleet. "Strange readings," muttered one of the aliens. "This is unusual." The ship was larger than they thought. Its hull seemed armored in a way that absorbed scans instead of reflecting them. The alien scientists grew curious, then anxious. Suddenly, the probe's feed flickered. The screen showed alarms flashing on the human ship. The aliens leaned forward, hearts pounding. "Status?" hissed the captain. Before the scientist could answer, the probe went silent. No signal, no response. Just a small blinking light on the scanner, and then nothing. "What happened?" another alien asked nervously. The captain narrowed his eyes. "Something reacted." Pull the probe back now, but it was too late. From the darkness of space, a beam of light shot toward the probe. It disintegrated instantly, leaving no trace. The aliens froze. They had never seen such precision. Never such power. "This cannot be," whispered the scientist. "Our instruments. They are failing." The captain's claws tapped nervously on the console. "Send another probe. Carefully. Observe. Do not engage." A second probe was sent. The aliens watched intently. The human ship remained silent, calm. But the sensors picked up subtle movements, doors opening, panels sliding, strange machinery humming. The ship seemed alive, almost aware of the probes. Suddenly, the second probe disappeared in a flash. This time, the aliens saw the outline of something moving, something fast, intelligent, and deadly. Panic began to spread among the crew. "Recall all probes," the captain ordered. "We underestimated it." But even as they sent recall signals, the human ship did not attack directly. It was like a predator observing a hunter, studying weaknesses, calculating moves before making its strike. "Captain, the readings—" "They are adapting," stammered a young alien officer. "Every time we send a probe, it learns. It counters. It changes." The captain's tail twitched with irritation. "Impossible. Humans cannot do this. They are primitive." Yet the evidence was clear. The ship's energy signature shifted, reorganized, and strengthened. It was as if the warship had a mind of its own. Minutes passed, each one stretching longer than the last. The alien crew whispered nervously. Some looked away from the screens, unable to watch the impossible unfold. Then, without warning, a small drone launched from the human ship. It moved like a ghost, faster than any alien craft, and struck one of the probes. The probe exploded in seconds, vaporized into nothing. The alien bridge erupted into chaos. Screams and shouts filled the air. No one could understand what had happened. How could a human vessel destroy their technology so easily? The captain slammed his claw on the console. "Stand down." "Stand down!" "Observe, learn, but do not engage." The human ship drifted silently, almost mocking them. Its lights blinked in rhythmic patterns, as if signaling a warning. The aliens watched, hearts pounding, minds racing. For the first time in centuries, they felt fear. Not of other species, not of natural disasters, but of a human warship. The fear was raw, instinctive, and undeniable. "Captain," said the young officer, voice trembling, "we may have miscalculated." The captain stared at the screens. His eyes narrowed. The cold void of space seemed darker now. The humans were not what the galaxy expected. And then the warship vanished. No engines, no warp signature, nothing. Just gone. The aliens sat in stunned silence. The encounter had lasted less than 10 minutes, but it had changed everything. Their confidence shattered, replaced by something new: uncertainty, fear, and respect. "Prepare a full report," the captain said quietly, almost to himself. "Send it to the fleet command, and warn them. Humans are not to be underestimated." The bridge fell silent again. Outside, the stars glimmered coldly. Somewhere out there, the human warship waited, silent, invisible, and deadly, and the aliens would never forget this day. The day they encountered humanity, and instantly regretted it. After the brief but shocking encounter, the alien fleet hovered in space. Their confidence had vanished. The warship they had assumed was primitive had disappeared without a trace. Now the aliens faced a terrifying question. What were humans capable of? On the alien bridge, the captain stood silently, staring at the empty space where the human ship had been. His crew whispered anxiously among themselves, their scales bristling with fear. Every sensor was trained, every probe ready, but the humans were nowhere to be seen. "Sir," said the young officer, voice trembling, "they could be anywhere. We cannot find them." The captain's eyes narrowed. "They are not hiding. They are waiting. And they want us to think they are weaker than they are." The aliens had made a mistake. They had assumed humans were primitive. That assumption had almost cost them dearly. Now they had to be cautious. The alien fleet moved slowly, scanning the surrounding space. Each ship deployed multiple sensors, trying to detect the human warship. But the humans had vanished completely. Their stealth technology, or whatever it was beyond anything the aliens had seen. Minutes stretched into tense hours. Then suddenly the human ship reappeared, but not in the same place. It was behind the alien fleet. "Contact!" shouted a crew member. They moved faster than our calculations. The aliens scrambled to adjust their positions. Their weapon systems activated, aiming at the unknown enemy. But the humans did not fire. They only observed, their ship silent and precise, as if studying the aliens carefully. "Do not engage," the captain warned. "Observe, learn, do not attack first." Still, fear had taken root. The aliens had always been confident in their superiority, but now that confidence was gone. For every move the humans made seemed deliberate and intelligent. A second, smaller probe was sent out to test the humans' reaction. It floated toward the warship, scanning cautiously. But the moment it came close, the ship's defense system activated, not with energy blasts, but with a subtle pulse that disrupted the probe's electronics. The probe went offline instantly. The aliens watched in shock. They destroyed our probe without firing a weapon," muttered one officer. "How is this possible?" The captain's claws tapped nervously on the console. "They are predicting our moves. They are analyzing us in real time. We cannot fight them like this." Suddenly, a human drone shot out from the warship. It moved with incredible speed, dodging alien weapons effortlessly. Within seconds, it disabled 2 more probes. The alien crew froze. Their ships were still functional, but their technology, supposedly superior, was being neutralized without even touching the humans. "Sir, they are controlling the battlefield," whispered a young lieutenant. "Even without attacking directly, they are winning." The captain clenched his jaw. "This is unacceptable. We are the invaders. We control space, and yet they make us feel powerless." The human ship remained calm, almost taunting. Its sensors scanned the alien fleet, mapping every weapon, every shield, every weak point. The aliens realized something chilling. The humans could predict their actions, counter them, and remain unharmed. One alien muttered nervously, They understand our tactics, better than we understand our own fleet." The captain took a deep breath. "We must retreat and rethink. But before we do, send a message. Attempt communication." The alien fleet sent a coded signal. Static filled the communication channels. Then a single clear response came from the human warship. A short sequence of lights and sounds, strange, almost musical. The aliens tried to decode it, but it made no sense. "They are mocking us," one officer asked. The captain shook his head. "No, they are communicating. But in a way we cannot comprehend. They are advanced." Panic started to ripple through the alien fleet. Their plan of attack had failed. Every probe destroyed, every tactic countered. And now the humans were silent observers, waiting for the right moment to strike. Minutes passed. The aliens considered retreat, but the humans had anticipated even this. The alien fleet noticed that the human ship subtly shifted its position, cutting off potential escape routes. "We cannot escape without their notice," said a trembling officer. "They are everywhere." The captain realized the horrifying truth. "We have underestimated them completely. Our technology, our numbers, mean nothing against them." The human warship suddenly fired a single beam, not strong enough to destroy but precise. It hit the lead alien ship's shield, sending a shockwave that rocked the bridge. The aliens reeled, realizing the humans could strike with accuracy unmatched by anything in their fleet. Silence fell. The alien fleet understood one thing. Humans were not just fighters. They were strategists, hunters, and survivors, far beyond the aliens' expectations. The captain leaned back, gripping the console. "We must report this to our command. Humanity is not to be underestimated." Outside, the human ship drifted silently, calm, invisible, and deadly. The aliens could only watch, hearts pounding, minds racing as they faced the realization. This encounter was only the beginning. The void of space seemed darker now, filled with an invisible tension. The humans had won this first contact, not by firepower, but by intelligence, precision, and control. And somewhere in the cold, silent stars, the aliens would never forget the day they first truly met humanity. The alien fleet had regrouped after their first failed encounter. Their pride was wounded, their confidence shaken. The captain paced on the bridge, claws clicking against the metal floor. "We misjudged them," he admitted quietly, though his officers already knew. The aliens had always believed that technology and numbers decided victory. But humans had shown something entirely different: intelligence, patience, and adaptability. "Captain," said the young officer, his voice tense, "we have repaired the probes. Shall we try again?" The captain shook his head. "No, this time we go with the fleet. We will overwhelm them with numbers. Humans cannot match us in a direct battle." With grim determination, the alien ships activated their engines and moved in formation. Each ship bristled with weapons. Sensors scanned for the human warship. The fleet was ready to strike, confident that this time, victory was theirs. But humans had already anticipated this. From deep space, the human warship appeared again, not at the fleet's front but at a strategic angle, almost invisible like a shadow in the void. Its presence was subtle yet commanding. The aliens did not notice at first. Then the first shots rang out, not from the humans directly, but from automated defense drones. They moved faster than the alien sensors could track, hitting multiple ships at once. Explosions rocked the fleet. "Formation broken," shouted an officer. They predicted our approach." The captain's tail lashed in frustration. "Adjust shields, counterattack. Target the origin of those drones." But it was too late. The human warship seemed to anticipate every move. Every weapon the aliens fired was countered, neutralized, or redirected. Their largest energy beams fizzled out before reaching the target. Alien missiles veered off course, their navigation systems jammed. "Impossible," an officer yelled. "Our technology should be superior." The captain's eyes narrowed. "Humans are not just fighting. They are controlling the battlefield. Every move we make, they adapt instantly." The aliens had believed their numbers and firepower guaranteed victory. Now that belief was shattered. Ships that were supposed to be invincible were disabled in moments. Explosions illuminated the void as alien vessels tumbled helplessly. One alien muttered, trembling, They are learning faster than we can anticipate." The captain knew this was more than just strategy. Humans were unpredictable in ways that the aliens could not calculate. Their warship moved with precision, striking where the aliens were weakest, yet avoiding direct destruction. It was almost as if the ship had a mind of its own. Another wave of drones shot out from the human ship. They moved like ghosts, weaving between alien ships and disrupting communications. Chaos spread across the fleet. Even the most experienced alien commanders were overwhelmed. "Retreat," someone finally shouted. We cannot fight them head-on." But retreat was not easy. The humans had already positioned themselves to anticipate escape routes. The alien ships tried to maneuver, but every attempt was countered with surgical precision. It was not brute force, it was intelligence, efficiency, and foresight. The captain gritted his teeth. "This cannot continue. We must find a weakness. There must be one. Every species has one. yet the human warship revealed none. Shields shimmered without flaw. Every attack was neutralized, every move calculated. It was not just power, it was understanding. Humans understood their enemies in a way no other species could. Panic began to ripple through the alien fleet. Officers whispered to each other in disbelief. Some started questioning their orders, their own intelligence. They had miscalculated, not just once but repeatedly. "Captain," said a trembling officer, we underestimated them. Entirely. The captain leaned over the console, staring at the human warship. His mind raced. Humans were not just strong. They were precise, patient, and relentless. And now the aliens realized that every attack they planned could be turned against them in some way. Suddenly, the human ship fired a warning pulse, not destructive, but perfectly aimed. It disabled one of the largest alien ships without harming its crew. The aliens recoiled, realizing the humans did not need to destroy them to dominate the battlefield. "They are teaching us a lesson," whispered the young officer. "And we are the students," the captain exhaled slowly. "No, we are not students. We are victims of our own arrogance. We attacked without understanding. And now we pay the price." For the first time, the alien fleet felt the cold edge of fear. Not fear of losing a battle, but fear of humanity itself. The humans had shown them something far more dangerous than weapons, something far older and sharper. Intelligence, strategy, and calm superiority. The human warship drifted silently, waiting, observing, yet entirely untouchable. It was not moving aggressively, but every alien ship knew that one wrong move could spell disaster. The captain pressed a claw to his console, heart pounding. "Prepare to regroup and analyze everything we've seen. Humanity is not to be underestimated." Outside, the void of space was silent again. Stars shone coldly. But among the alien fleet, a new understanding had taken root. Humans were not mere creatures to be conquered. They were predators in their own right. And the aliens had just learned how dangerous it was to miscalculate them. The encounter ended without a decisive battle, but the lesson was clear. Humans were far stronger, smarter, and more unpredictable than the galaxy had ever imagined, and this was only the beginning. The alien fleet drifted in uneasy silence. Their pride had been shattered, their confidence eroded. They had attacked, miscalculated, and suffered humiliation without a single human ship being damaged. Now they faced a terrifying realization. Humans were far more than they had ever imagined. The captain stood at the bridge, claws tapping nervously on the console. His eyes, sharp and green, scanned the displays filled with incomprehensible data. "We underestimated them," he admitted quietly. "Completely." Officers exchanged uneasy glances. Every sensor reading, every tactical analysis now pointed to a single undeniable fact. The human warship was more advanced than any species the aliens had ever encountered. "Sir," said a young officer, voice trembling, "their shields, they absorb energy, redirect it, and adapt in seconds. Their weapon systems are unlike anything in the galaxy. They don't just attack, they anticipate, counter, and strike with precision." The captain's jaw tightened. "It cannot be. We are the masters of this sector. Technology and numbers should win every battle, and yet we were outmatched by a single ship." A data console flickered, showing the remnants of their destroyed drones and probes. Each one had been countered effortlessly, as if the human ship had predicted every move before it even happened. They understand our tactics better than we do," whispered another officer. "Every plan, every formation, every attack, they counter instantly." The aliens realized the terrifying truth. Humans were not only strong, but they were smart. More than that, they were unpredictable in ways the aliens could not calculate. The warship moved with a logic that seemed almost alive, adapting instantly to every threat, every attack. Every strategy the aliens employed. The captain pressed a claw to his temple, trying to comprehend the scale of human capability. This is not technology alone. It's intelligence. It's cunning, strategy, patience. Humans are different. From deep space, the human warship appeared again, silent and imposing. Its lights blinked in a rhythmic pattern, almost like a message, almost like a challenge. The alien fleet froze. Even now, the humans did not fire. They simply observed, calculating the aliens' next move. "Sir," said the officer, pointing to the screen, "they are waiting. They are not attacking yet. They could destroy us in moments if they wanted, and they know it. The captain's claws dug into the console. They are teaching us humility. A tense silence fell over the fleet. Every alien ship was alive with fear and respect. They realized that this encounter was no ordinary battle. It was a lesson. A lesson in underestimating humans. Suddenly, the human warship fired a single, precise beam, not to destroy, but to disable a key system on one of the alien ships. The impact was subtle but devastating. Communications went down and the alien ship spun helplessly. They could have destroyed it entirely, whispered the young officer. But they didn't. It was deliberate. The captain understood. Humans did not need to annihilate their enemies to dominate. Their intelligence, strategy, and precision were enough to control any situation. He leaned back, exhaling slowly. Prepare a full tactical report. Send it to Fleet Command. Humanity is unlike anything we've faced. Every detail we record will matter for the future. The aliens began analyzing the data in earnest. Every destroyed probe, every disabled drone, every movement of the human ship was logged and studied. Slowly, a terrifying picture emerged. Humans had weapon systems far beyond alien technology, shields that adapted instantly, and strategies that anticipated every possible attack. They are superior, admitted an officer reluctantly, not just in firepower, but in every way. Strategy, control, intelligence. Even our best plans fail against them. The captain nodded grimly. They are not mere warriors. They are predators, hunters, and we walked right into their territory thinking we were the hunters. Outside, the human warship drifted silently, almost invisible against the stars. Its presence was calm, confident, and utterly dominant. The aliens realized that the humans were not just powerful, they were untouchable when they chose to be. A final thought struck the captain, one that chilled him to the core. We attacked them expecting weakness, and found strength we cannot comprehend. They are beyond us entirely. The alien fleet fell into a heavy, uneasy silence. Every ship and every crew member understood one thing. The humans had revealed their full capability, and it was more terrifying than anything they had imagined. And for the first time in the galaxy's long history, an alien fleet felt something they had never known before. True fear. Fear not of destruction, but of a species that was sharper, faster, smarter, and far more cunning than anything they had ever faced. The human warship slowly faded into the distance, leaving the aliens to contemplate their defeat, not in battle but in understanding. It was not brute force that had won. It was intelligence, patience, and the undeniable superiority of humanity. The stars shone coldly outside, but inside the alien fleet, a storm of respect, fear, and regret raged. They had encountered humans, and they would never make the mistake of underestimating them again, and so the reveal was complete. Humans were not just warriors. They were a force unlike any other, a presence that could not be ignored. The encounter had ended, but the lesson had only begun. The alien fleet drifted in silence, a deep, heavy tension hanging over every ship. The earlier encounters had shaken them to the core. Their pride had been crushed, their confidence shattered, and now fear had taken root. The captain sat at the bridge, claws gripping the console. Every display flickered with damage reports, failed attacks, and the relentless precision of the human warship. Even after hours of observing, the humans remained untouchable. "Captain," said a young officer, voice barely audible, we cannot engage them. Every attempt fails. Their strategy, their defenses, it's flawless." The captain exhaled slowly, his tail lashing with frustration. "We misjudged them from the start. We assumed weakness, and we were wrong. Completely wrong. The aliens had always believed in overwhelming force. Numbers, technology, and firepower. These had always ensured victory. But humans had proven that none of these guarantees mattered. They had intelligence, cunning, and patience. They understood the battlefield better than any alien species. A senior officer leaned over a console, scanning the reports again. "They could have destroyed our fleet entirely," he whispered. "But they didn't. Every strike is calculated, precise, and almost merciful." The captain nodded grimly. "They are teaching us humility, and perhaps something more." Outside, the human warship drifted silently, observing, waiting. Its lights blinked in a subtle pattern, almost like a message. The aliens could not interpret it, but the intent was clear: do not underestimate us. Panic began to ripple through the fleet. Officers whispered anxiously among themselves, some pacing, some staring at screens in disbelief. Their greatest pride, their technology, had been rendered ineffective by a single human warship. Their fleet built for conquest was no match for the intelligence and precision of humans. "Sir," said a young lieutenant, his voice trembling, "they know every move before we make it. Every tactic, every formation. We are predictable to them." The captain pressed a claw to his forehead, trying to make sense of it all. "We have engaged countless species. We have crushed worlds, fleets, and entire civilizations. And yet this one ship, one human ship, has shown us something we cannot fight with weapons alone." A sudden alert lit up the bridge. Sensors detected movement in the periphery. The human warship had subtly shifted its position, cutting off a possible escape route. The aliens froze. Even retreat was no longer simple. "They are controlling the battlefield without firing a single destructive shot," whispered an officer, awe and fear mingling in his voice. The captain's eyes narrowed. "We must retreat, but not in shame. Carefully record everything. Analyze every move. Humanity says not just strong. They are superior in every way that matters." Outside, the human ship moved silently, almost ghost-like, a predator observing without revealing its full power. The aliens could feel the weight of its presence, the unspoken message clear: "We could destroy you any time, but we choose not to." The fleet debated internally. Some suggested attacking again, desperate to reclaim pride. Others whispered of surrender, of retreat, of simply reporting this encounter as a lesson learned. Fear had taken root, spreading faster than any command could contain it. "Sir," said a trembling officer, we underestimated them entirely. They are not a species to be challenged lightly. Every attack is a miscalculation, every move futile." The captain exhaled slowly, the truth sinking in. "They are beyond us, not just in technology, but in intelligence, patience, and foresight, and we walked into this with arrogance." Outside, the human warship drifted, its sensors and lights scanning, always aware, always calm. The aliens understood that this was no ordinary encounter. Humans had not needed to use full force. They had demonstrated superiority through observation, strategy, and precision. A senior officer spoke, voice heavy with regret. "They are not just warriors. They are a force. They outthink us, outmaneuver us, and leave us powerless without firing a single fatal shot." The captain leaned back, his claws resting on the console. "Prepare a full report for Fleet Command," he said quietly. "Warn them, humanity is not to be underestimated. They have shown us the cost of arrogance." The aliens sat in stunned silence. Their pride had been shattered, replaced with a profound respect and fear for humanity. Every calculation, every attack, every plan had failed. Humans were not just strong, they were untouchable when they chose to be. The human warship slowly began to fade into the distance, leaving the alien fleet humbled, shaken, and awed. The stars outside seemed colder now, harsher, reflecting the realization of how completely the aliens had misjudged humans. For the first time, an entire fleet understood the meaning of regret. They had come seeking conquest and analysis, but they had found something far more powerful, the undeniable superiority of humanity, and as the human warship disappeared into the void, the aliens were left to confront a truth they could not ignore. They had miscalculated, underestimated, and walked into the presence of a species that was far beyond their understanding. The regret was bitter, the lesson was clear, and the memory of this encounter would haunt the alien fleet for the rest of their existence. Humans had not fired to kill. Humans had not flaunted power, yet humans had dominated entirely, proving that strategy, intelligence, and patience could surpass raw technology in numbers. The captain finally whispered, almost to himself, "We attacked them expecting weakness, and found strength we cannot hope to match. Humanity is supreme." Outside, the human warship disappeared into the starry void, leaving the aliens humbled, fearful, and utterly aware. The galaxy would never again underestimate humanity. The alien fleet floated in the dark emptiness of space, silent and shaken. Every officer, Every ship, every crew member carried the same thought. Humanity was not to be underestimated. The previous encounters had humbled them, shaken their confidence, and left a fear that no one could ignore. On the bridge of the alien flagship, the captain stared at the empty space where the human warship had last been seen. His claws tapped nervously on the console. "They could strike at any moment," he muttered. "And we would have no chance." A young officer leaned forward, voice trembling. "Sir, they are gone. For now. But the lesson they have taught us, it will not be forgotten." The captain nodded slowly. "No, it will not. We were arrogant, foolish, and blind. And yet they showed us restraint. They left us alive to learn, to remember." Outside, the human warship drifted silently, a phantom against the stars. Its lights blinked gently, a subtle rhythm that seemed almost like a message. The aliens tried to read it, to understand it, but the warship revealed nothing more. It was not just powerful, it was confident, patient, and entirely in control. The alien officers whispered among themselves, their voices tinged with awe and fear. They had expected a fight, a conquest, a show of brute strength. Instead, they had witnessed a species that needed no weapons to dominate, no threats to command respect. Humans had simply existed, and that had been enough to assert their supremacy. The captain spoke quietly, almost to himself. "They could have destroyed us, every ship, every crew, but they chose not to. Their superiority, it is absolute yet restrained, calculated, perfect." The fleet analysts continued to study the data from previous engagements. Every probe destroyed, every drone neutralized, every subtle maneuver of the human warship was logged, examined, and discussed. Slowly, an undeniable pattern emerged. Humans were not just warriors. They were masters of strategy, foresight, and precision. "They are not like us," said a senior officer. "Not just stronger, not just faster, not just armed with technology, but smarter, far smarter. They anticipate, adapt, and dominate without aggression. They command respect naturally." The captain exhaled slowly, feeling the weight of the lesson. "Prepare the full report. Send it to Fleet Command. Every detail, every observation. Humanity is a force unlike any we have faced, and it must be treated as such." In the darkness of space, the human warship began to move, not aggressively, not in pursuit, but with silent purpose. Its engines shimmered faintly, and then it accelerated, vanishing into hyperspace almost instantly. The alien fleet could barely detect its departure before it was gone. The officers whispered in disbelief. "They left, and yet we feel controlled, dominated. Even in their absence, they command this space." The captain tapped the console with a heavy claw. "Humans are a lesson for the galaxy. We came seeking knowledge, seeking conquest, expecting weakness, and we found supremacy. They did not strike us down, but they proved they could. That is power. That is humanity." Silence fell over the fleet. For the first time in the history of the sector, an alien force had faced humans and survived, yet they were left shaken, awed, and utterly aware of the gap between themselves and the human species. One officer whispered, almost reverently, "We underestimated them, and we almost paid the ultimate price. We will not make that mistake again." The captain nodded. "Indeed. Let this be a warning to every fleet, every commander, every civilization. Humans are not to be challenged. Their strength is not just in technology or numbers. It is in their intelligence, their strategy, their patience, and their unshakable calm. That is what makes them superior." The alien fleet slowly began to regroup, but the lesson had sunk deep. Every commander, every officer, every crew member understood the new reality. Humanity was not just another species in the galaxy. Humans were a force of nature, silent yet unstoppable, invisible yet dominant. The human warship disappeared completely, leaving behind no trace but the lesson it had carved into the minds of the alien fleet. A species could dominate, not by brute force, but by intelligence, restraint, and foresight. The galaxy had witnessed humanity in its purest form, and no one could ever ignore them again. The captain leaned back, eyes fixed on the empty stars. "We engaged them expecting weakness, and found a force that commands fear and respect. Humanity is supreme." Outside, the stars continued to shine coldly, silently observing the human warship as it vanished into the void, leaving a humbled alien fleet to contemplate the true meaning of power. And so the story ended, not with a battle, not with destruction, but with humans proving their dominance through intelligence, strategy, and calm superiority. The galaxy would remember this encounter for centuries. Humans had arrived, and they had reminded everyone that they were a force that could not be underestimated.